Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their relationships and breakups. No contact. Dun, dun, dun. No contact is everywhere, right? What does it really mean? We talked about this on this show many times. I'm going to come at it from a different angle here. I've had clients tell me that they've watched so many no contact videos, and really, it starts to confuse the hell out of you, right? Should I stay with it? Should I not stay with it? Really, a lot of people are watching no contact videos again and again because they want to find out, does it really work? Or how can I find a way to break it and make it work? I mean, so I'm going to get into what does it really mean? What does no contact really mean? We got all these videos on it. A lot of people stick by it, stand by it. I've had clients tell me, this has happened more than once. They go, I talked to this other coach, and basically what he just kept telling me was go into no contact. And it's like, someone's like, that's it? That's all you got from me? So if you want to book a live coaching session with myself about your breakup or your issue and your relationship, or you just have some limited beliefs, I'm here for you. Go to writemac.com, WRITEMAC.com, book a session. If you don't find it useful or helpful moving forward in your life, I will give you a refund. Stand on that. So if you'd like to send in your story like many people have, and I unpack it in a YouTube video like this, that's also available. Your story counts, folks. It's probably the most important thing that you have evidence of how you look at the world or look at your situations or look at your problems. It really is. So today, like I said, no contact, what does it really mean? And please put in the comments, what does no contact really mean to you? And really though, words have different definitions from different people. Webster Dictionary is not the aficionado, folks. I'll often tell people when they say, oh, I thought he loved me. What was your definition of love and what was his definition of love? Because that's not defined by any one person. It's your interpretation. Words are interpreted differently, very differently. All right. So if you're watching this, please put in the comments below too, if you watch this later on, what does no contact mean to you? Like, what does it really mean to you? What's the essence of it? Rather than doing a 25-minute video or explaining how it works so seriously, I'm going to give you my take right now. All right. So, official quote of the day. To start with, the phrase no contact is new. I'm not sure when it was born, but I've only known it to be a popular phrase in the last 3 years. Myself, been around this planet for 41 years. I don't remember ever hearing the statement no contact in the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s. This is a new phrase or statement that people are standing behind. So it hasn't had a lot of weight for a long time. Okay. These kinds of statements or words or catchphrases, they go on YouTube, they go on blogs, and they just catch their own fire. In the past, you'd just be told to not call them anymore or maybe block their number. That's it. Don't call them. And at its essence, no contact is making a stand to stop chasing, stop negotiating, stop begging, and ultimately to stop being rejected. Every time you get rejected, it drops your confidence lower and lower. And every time your confidence drops, you are susceptible to do things out of character and doing things that are purely an overcompensation. To be out of character is to appear dishonest and unauthentic to your ex. In short, it comes off fake. To overcompensate is to appear to do something so over the top and so much more than needed to just get what you want. In short, you're being extra good. extra sorry to just get them back. You're the salesman that's annoying as fuck, that won't take a no, I'm just looking. You're that salesman that comes off as plastic as a local anchorman on a cheap news station. Hi, I'm John Harrison of 5 o'clock news, and I just want to say Channel 7 news is on your side. The reality is John Harrison and the Channel 7 news team don't know me. They don't know you. They don't really care about you or me. It's just an overcompensated advertisement to get you and me to watch the news with them. It's an insult to my intelligence, to be quite frank, and that's why I don't watch these news stations. When you first break up, things are said, reasons for breaking up are disclosed, and then it happens. You actually break up. If you were dumped, you want an explanation. And then you want to overcome that explanation with a counter argument. Only this isn't a courtroom where you have a judge to decide who built a better case or who is really to believe. No. This is a breakup, and the person that doesn't want you anymore built a case, and they're going to stick to it. And in most cases, there's a hidden agenda they aren't sharing completely. For example, they may have an interest in a coworker they've been flirting with, or they are tired of you ignoring them when you come home. But they don't tell you that. They just say something like, I'm not in love with you anymore. A statement like this can be overcome. A statement like this can't be overcome. Correction. With a sorry, I'll do better. Okay? It can't be overcome with I'm sorry, I'll do better. And if you say I'm sorry 10 times, it's even worse. You need to call a timeout for yourself. It's best you collect your thoughts and catch your wind on the sidelines for a bit. You've just been injured and you can't play the game the way you're capable of playing. You're literally operating on half a heart. But here's the thing. Going no contact lets you nurse your half a heart back. Okay? It lets you sort out what you really want. And if you actually agree with why your ex dumped you, or in some cases, why you broke up, maybe they didn't dump you. And it gives them time to sit in the breakup alone with no attention, no chasing, no sweet words from you, no reassurance that if you change your mind, I'll be waiting for you. God, it makes me cringe whenever I told him, if you change your mind, I'll be right there. Great way to end things. If you want to call me anytime. And in most cases, they are expecting that. They love a soft, plush landing of an ex they broke up with, wanting them back. They won't admit that. They don't even know it subconsciously. But when you want them back after they've dumped you or rejected you, they feel so fucking great. Because you just told them, hey, it's okay. I'll be here waiting. It's ideal for them because they can go out, experience being single, flirting, dating, hooking up with others. But they know deep down, you'll be sitting there waiting. And if things go bad or they need a confidence boost, you're sitting there on the sidelines offering them a cool glass of water and a back rub. They know they can have you anytime anytime they want. And until that option is taken away, your value to them will be at an all-time low. You've been dumped. You've had your heart sliced in half, and you know who did it. Yet you have no pride, no dignity, no confidence to move on without them. You're only helping them build their case deeper that you aren't a strong, attractive partner. What's the alternative to no contact when it comes to this situation? Number one, no contact just means it's time to accept that your ex doesn't want you, and that no words or actions are going to change their mind. It also gives you time to decide if this relationship is worth fighting for. Now, me personally, I actually don't like that phrase. Whenever I have a client and they go, oh, she said that I need to fight for the relationship, I don't even know what that means. Fighting for a relationship is not a healthy way to be. Okay? And in most cases, it's Hollywood. A woman saw it in a movie. The guy's falling all over her in the rain, saying sorry 1,000 times. And then it works out for them. But in reality, what she doesn't realize, in real life, it's highly unattractive to have a man banging on your door late at night saying sorry 1,000 times. It just, for some reason, doesn't get the juices flowing for the feminine, masculine attraction. It just doesn't. But in a movie, it looks absolutely, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. Because when someone says, not in all cases, oh, I just want you to fight for the relationship. Translation, I want you to beg and plead to get me back without any sort of accountability on my end. As if everything that's wrong with this relationship, you need to fix. Now, if that's the case, and they've done nothing wrong, then you probably need to take a step back, go into no contact, and work whatever shit that you have a problem with. Okay? But in most cases, when someone's like, you need to fight for the relationship, so you haven't done nothing wrong? As if all the problems in the relationship are your fault? If that's the case, you need to break up and regroup. If you're in a relationship and someone's saying it's all you, you better ask yourself, is that true? If someone puts it to you, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did this, you need to step back, send in your story to writemac.com, get a live coaching session with myself. Let's unpack it and talk about it. But you should not be just falling on the sword. Because if you get back with an individual like that, you will be walking on eggshells. You will be having gun to the head negotiations, which means everything goes their way. You need to decide, like, is this true about me? And if you're that bad in the relationship, you need to work on yourself. And you're not going to do it while you're in a breakup, right? Number 2, no contact is a wonderful opportunity for you to truly assess the breakup and this relationship as a whole. For example, she called me lazy and said, I'm just not ambitious enough. Okay, so that's a statement that someone makes during a breakup. They throw that dart, smacks you right in the jaw. You got to ask yourself, while in no contact, take that statement and ask yourself, do I agree that I'm lazy? Yes or no? Journal it out. Do you want to change your laziness for her or for you, or your ambitious level? There's some people out there that go, yeah, I'm not ambitious, but I like who I am. I got a job. I pay my bills. I'm never going to be a millionaire, but I like who I am. Is that a fair statement? Is what she's saying lazy and unambitious? Is that even a fair statement when you unpack it? And if you go, you know what? I am a lazy motherfucker. You know what? I sit around way too much. You're not going to convince her during the breakup and go, I'll stop being lazy. I'll start mowing the lawn on the weekends, and I'll start going to the gym 5 days a week. That's not going to be believed. So even if that's true and you're in no contact, you're like, damn, I'm lazy. You better start getting out there like Rocky, right? And go for a long run. Start proving to yourself that that's not true. And by the way, no contact's the best time to do that. Next question. Do you know where she or he's coming from? So when they call you lazy or they call you not ambitious, these are just example statements. Where they're coming from. A big one now is a lot of women are, you play video games too much. Okay. Do you know where she's coming from? Like, do you agree? Someone else could counter that with, well, at least I'm not going out getting drunk with buddies and trying to screw around. So your counter argument is, I'm not this bad, but you're not listening. Does someone want to be with a long-term relationship where their partner's in front of a TV 3 or 4 hours, highly stimulated by video games? Now, here's the thing. You aren't going to convince her or him that you are a go-getter or hardworking by telling them you'll change. She's made the assessment over a couple of years. One desperate barrage of, sorry, I'll do better. I'll do better. I'm sorry, I'll fight for the relationship. Means nothing. You've provided 2 years of evidence, and you have 1 day of, I'll change. Go into no contact and assess what you've done wrong and who you are as an individual and what you want to change for you as an individual moving forward. Because maybe you say, you know what? I'm not quitting my video games. Yeah, I'm lazy when I get home from work, but 8 hours a day, I'm not lazy at work. This idea that I'm not ambitious enough, I just don't agree with it. Number 3, I actually don't push someone to stick with no contact. Now, I'm talking to you about, this might surprise some people. When you come to me, I've been doing this for 4 years, talk to people around the world, talk to a lot of different people, a lot of different breakups, a lot of different situations. And the one thing I can tell you, it's always different because the story's different. Interpretations, perceptions are always going to be different about similar situations. Are you with me? So what I've known after doing this for a while is it's not as simple as saying, just go no contact. It's what's best for you. And I've heard from clients recently that they've gone to some other coaches. I'm not going to say the coaches' names because I don't throw dirt on people's names because it was secondhand information. But this is what they said. Yeah. You're just going to have to stick in no contact. You just have to do no contact. That's actually a very bad delivery on what could be some good advice. Now, there are some people out there that are really good at taking orders, usually people in the military or people that are really good students, but that's not a large portion of the population. Most people that are adults don't like you to just tell them what to do. Hey, just go no contact. I could do that in 5 minutes, right? So a lot of times what I'll do is when we're in a live coaching session on Zoom, we're unpacking your story and they say, well, I'm in no contact, but I think I just want to call them for closure. This is a big one. I'll just call them for some closure because I want some more closure. Okay. Instead of me going, oh no, you got to stay in no contact. It's your only option. I'll never tell anyone it's your only option because it's not. Instead, I'll unpack the question further and even suggest, okay, go ahead and call them. Just know the consequences. This actually really surprises people. They look at me kind of funny because they've talked to some other people. They talked to some other coaches, some coaches that were $400 an hour, $1,000 an hour. And they're like, no one's told me it's okay to contact them. And I basically say, of course it's okay to contact them. You know why? There's been some cases where someone broke no contact and got back with their ex probably. But let's unpack the scenario here. What's the consequences? Then I'll say, what would be the ideal outcome of contacting them? I don't know. A lot of times it's like, I don't know. So you're going to contact them. You haven't talked to them for a month. What? I want to just get closure. Okay. So what does closure look like? They've already told you, that you're lazy, unambitious, and they don't want to be with you anymore. So what more closure do you want? They hate you? They're seeing someone else? I mean, be honest. Let me ask you, are you really seeking to get back together or for them to want you back, but you're disguising it as closure? Now, here's a great question. You contact them, and one of the biggest ones is, I got to contact them because their birthday's coming up or my birthday's coming up. One of the two. It's absolutely shocking that this is one of the number one things. It just shows you how much we are connected to our childhoods, because your birthday is such a big deal when you're a child for most people that it's like, wow, you didn't say happy birthday to me. So I will say, all right, you want to contact them? Let's go through it. Let's unpack this. Why are you really contacting? What would be the ideal outcome? Now, what would be the worst outcome? For example, and if anyone's out there has broken no contact before and they've had a bad experience, here's some of the experiences that can happen. Number one, you contact them, hat in hands. Maybe you have some bullshit lame thing like, oh, I just read this article that reminded me of you and I wanted to call them. And they are dead cold to you. Oh, really? Oh, that's nice. Or they just are short with you. Or the worst case scenario, hey, I just want to be honest with you, John. I'm seeing someone else now. Talk about putting a needle through the balloon. Talk about, this is what I tell people. The consequence is, when you first broke up, you were at ground zero for a week or 2 weeks, right? Even though a month later you're still hurting, it's not as bad as it was. You will go all the way back down to ground zero or worse. If they tell you, oh, I'm seeing someone else, I've had people do this. I've had people, and honestly, what I would do now is I'll say, if you want to break the no contact, you can call me back and we'll do a coaching session after you break it, and then we'll see what happens. I don't suggest it, but I'll support you because you have free will. The amount of people that have written an email or a text, okay, and then I tell them, I don't recommend you do that, but if you want to do it, I'll ride with you. They'll send the email or the text, okay, and then they'll go, oh my God, I just want to let you know that I just sent the email and the text, and I feel so much better getting that all out. I'm so glad I did it. Like, they're relieved that they got that off their chest. And I, respond, and I'm like, okay, good for you. I'm happy that you feel better about it. And then they get no response for a day or two. And they're like, they didn't respond to me yet. You created that because you couldn't handle the consequences of the worst case scenario. So now you're in a situation where you want to email them again, which is just going to make you look needy, desperate, the person that they broke up with. Or you start fishing. Had this recently. They haven't responded to my email. It's kind of weird. So I decided to contact their mom and ask if they're okay. Then I got on a call with their mom, and their mom told me how much they miss me and how much they wish that, me and Sheila could get back together and all this stuff, and how much they like me. And so now I feel better talking to the mom, but it's like, so now you've just created this new momentum of you've contacted them and you've been rejected again. And now you're desperately contacting family members post breakup is a huge no-no. I know a lot of people think like, oh, the mom loved me, the sister loved me. That's great. It's outstanding. It does help. You trying to get them on your team is like in the 1 percentile. Okay? People are going to choose their blood, their family members, even if they don't like their family members. It's their son, their daughter, their sister, their brother, even if they don't agree with the way they broke up with you. They're not going to ride with you. They're going to tell them what you said. They're going to find you to be a little bit pathetic. Okay? They're going to be nice to you, though. But this is the consequences of when you break no contact and it doesn't work out. I've seen it again and again. And then you go down to ground zero and you're really hurt. So that's when I say, like, what's the alternative to no contact? Contacting them and facing the idea that they're seeing someone else, or worse yet, They just respond. They go, you know what? I'm so happy right now. I think the breakup was a great thing for you. How have you been? Huh? I actually had that happen. I broke a no contact years ago before it was called no contact. I sent an email out. Absolutely fucking crushed me. And a friend of mine was like, hey, man, life's too short. Just contact her. I knew we weren't getting back together. I knew shit was bad. I knew it wasn't a good relationship to get back into. I wish I could have called me now. Right? But I didn't think about the consequence. I hit her up, email, which is lame as hell. Right? The response was, I'm so happy right now. I never thought that that would be one of the responses. So again, if I'm in a live coaching session, I'll tell you. I might say, go ahead and contact him. It's okay. And people go. And you know what happens when I do that? That's when they will usually start building a case why they should stay in no contact. Call it reverse psychology. I do this because it's possible to break no contact. And it's possible it works for some people. But in my experience, I really believe that it depends on the individual breakup and for me to know your story first. And then I can tell you if it's a good idea or just call them. In some cases, I do say, I think if you wanted to, you could call them. But let's unpack the consequences. Let's unpack the ideal situation. Let's unpack why you're actually calling them. And in most cases, people are in a place in their life where they're extremely desperate. They're not doing well with their job. They're lonely, and they don't have a lot of other things going on. And that's kind of the worst place to be to get an ex back. Okay. Number 4, how long does it take for no contact? Big question, right? First of all, that's really a trick question. Okay. There's no exact answer or number of days if someone tells you that. They're full of shit. Okay. I've heard another coach, I won't say the name, reference that the 8-month mark is when you basically know it's over and they haven't contacted you. Okay. I don't know what that's based on. Just in my experience, about 8 months is the standard of when, basically they're not going to contact you. That's complete bullshit. One thing I will say that I believe is between 3 and 4 weeks is the hardest part of no contact. Because if you look at research, 21 days is a sweet spot number for building a habit. And so I believe when you get to 3 weeks to 4 weeks, and just in my experience, that's the most painful time that it becomes real that, hey, we're really not going to talk again. Whether you're going to, that's not me saying that that person can't contact you 2, 3 months, 4 months, 8 months, 7 months down the line. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's when it's the most painful on you that it becomes a reality that you're not talking. Even that statement there isn't a fact. It's my opinion. To me, no contact really works when you feel like you no longer need them. That's the fucking sweet spot. Okay? That is the spot. Literally. When you get to that point where you're like, I don't need them. I don't need them for validation. I don't need them to call me to feel better. That's the land of gold right there. That's the G spot. When you feel like you can move on with your life, and when you finally meet someone new who's of equal or higher value to them. And usually it's higher value. That's the ultimate outcome. That's the promised land in any breakup. It is. It's the ultimate promised land. Someone dumped you or even just broke up with you for ill reasons. Even if you get back together, in most cases, you'll always be walking on eggshells, feeling less than them in the relationship. So if they broke up with you and you get back together, even if it was great that you got back together, in most cases, unless they come back all in and tell you they are sorry and just want you back and they were wrong. And that usually only happens if you're strong and in no contact for a long period of time. But the ultimate goal, this is just my opinion. is to get to that place where you neutrally don't give a fuck anymore. And you are actually dating again, and you're actually excited about being single again. You have thoughts about that ex. You might think about things about how good a person they were, how great they were in bed, how beautiful they were, how handsome they were, et cetera, et cetera. But in reality, people always ask, when do you finally get over it? It's different for different people, but you know what it usually is? You met someone else. And I've told people this before. Everyone comes to you, especially for guys. Hey, man, just get back on the horse. Just start dating again and hooking up, and you'll be fine. Sometimes you need some time. You need to lick your wounds. But really, you need to figure out who you want to be as an individual, because there's no better opportunity than when you're broken up and when you're down and out, when you're sitting alone, saying, like, who do I want to fucking be? What kind of person do I want to attract? Do I want to be answering questions about I'm lazy and unambitious when I don't agree with that shit? Or that, I don't know what real love is, or I can't play my video games anymore. I'm not a video game player. This is a big one right now, right? It's like there's been guys out there that they get fat. They don't exercise. They don't value their health, right? And then they get pissed when the girlfriend breaks up and they're like, it really bothers me that you don't exercise. Now, I'm not the fat police. Right? There's plenty of guys out there that are pretty hefty that got girlfriends and they're pretty happy with being hefty, right? Go for it. But you telling all your friends, oh man, can't believe that's the reason. Guess what? A lot of dudes that have that happen, they end up trying to lose weight. It motivates them, right? So you have to find out what those problems are and then fix the ones you want to fix for yourself. And then, like I said, the promised land's meeting someone equal or higher value. And this is 7 billion people in the world. I don't know how many women, how many men, but there's a lot of options. And then we get to the point where we go, well, my city or town doesn't have any options. Fucking move. All right, folks, I'm feeling good. Feeling really good this week, man. I'll tell you what, one thing, I had COVID. One thing it does is there's this like resurrection. It's like if you've been sick before, I hadn't been that sick in a long time. I kicked my ass for a couple days, man. And then 10 days after, you're like foggy, you're just off. And I'll tell you what, it's like, oh my goodness, I appreciate my clear mind again. I appreciate just being healthy. It's glorious. All right, let's get into the live stream really quick. We got gay in NYC. Stay you. All right. It means the relationship is over. LOL. That's a good way to put it. Odd Carlo. Is there a chance you could change your name to Carlo? Why would you say Odd Carlo? Is that something that's fun? What's odd about you? G money. No contact means separating yourself from something that no longer benefits you. Very well put. Very well put. MJ, is this Michael Jordan? No. If I blocked my ex 3 months ago on all social media because I wanted to focus on myself and totally forget about her, if I reach to her, I'm thinking reach out, not reach around. If I reach out to her now, would there be any hope to be together again? Great question, MJ. The fact that would there be any hope? First of all, send in your story to writemac.com or book a live coaching session. Let's unpack the whole story. Okay. But I would start with what happened. I can't, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not a psychic. I'm pretty good with my memory. I'm a damn good breakup coach. But someone gives me 2 sentences, I can't really predict that. But I'll tell you this, there's always hope. The problem is hope doesn't equate to confidence. Hope is more pity-based, to be quite frank. So when you started dating her, MJ, right? When you started dating her, were you like, oh, I hope she likes me? I hope she likes me. I hope when we go out, I hope that, like, I bet you didn't go with a name like MJ. I bet you went into dating her with some confidence, with some gusto, with some juice. You going into contacting, like, I hope it'll work. That's playing not to lose, dude. You want to play to win. Now, there's certain females out there and men that are more likely to have pity, and that could be a bridge to getting back together. But in most cases, for women, it's not. They might have pity for you, but if they sense that you're hopeful in getting back together and you're overly sweet, it's probably not going to work. But I'd ask you this, MJ, what have you been focusing on yourself, and what were the core problems of you breaking up? For example, like I just mentioned in these examples, if someone said you were lazy or playing video games too much, what were the problems? What were the problems? Or the problem, right? Okay, so you broke up with her. She was bitchy towards me. Why was she? So this is how you unpack things, all right? Why was she bitchy to you? Specifically about what? And you broke up with her. Is that what you were saying? Odd Carlo. My parents named me Odd Carlo. I'm not kidding. Will eventually change to just Carlo if I move to the U.S. on my near 30s. Oh, is that? Maybe I'm saying it wrong because you're from Norway. You're from Norway, right? And I know a lot of Norway cats actually living in Phuket. There's a lot of them. A lot of people from Norway come to Thailand. Maybe your name's actually Odd? Is it Odd? I know an Ulf. Yeah, from Norway. Great salmon, man. Yeah, it's okay. I got you, bro. My apologies. It's not really odd. It's odd. Odd. Because my mother loved her very much, and she's very well. Then keep that damn name, man. Don't change that. That's a great story, bro. You don't need to change your name to be American. Fuck, man. Or we can just call you OCT. Own it. Own it. But that, MJ, like I said, we'll unpack this a little deeper, my friend. Okay. I mean, it is a great thing as a man when you get to a point where you start embracing and enjoying being single again. That is promised land. It's like, oh my goodness. Now you might have to go through a dark stage for a little bit. PJ Scott Graham. Mac, are you still in Thailand? No. Can't you tell by this background? No, I'm not. I'll be back in June. All right, let's get into the story here. We got one on deck. Hi. My story is a long one, but I'll try to make it short. Okay. I was madly in love with my boyfriend of 2.5 years. Madly in love. What a word. People still say that. I'd say I was addicted to him. No pun intended. He's the best boyfriend I've ever had. He's intelligent, handsome, and has a good body, and everyone just seems to like him. Sounds like he checks a lot of boxes. I'm 33 and he's 37. Wow, the way you wrote that, I thought you'd maybe be 23. I've actually only had 2 serious boyfriends before him, but I now know that I didn't really love those guys because I love this boyfriend so much more. I want to marry him and just make sure he's comfortable. I can get jealous sometimes because he's got a lot of women he flirts with, and I can see how other women look at him. I sometimes can't control this jealousy. Okay, so that's one of those things where you're just dead wrong. It's like, I can't control my jealousy. You can control a lot of your emotions and your feelings over time. You can bubble up with jealousy, and then you can find meditation, you can find exercise, you can find outlets to work with jealousy. People that think that this is just how I am, or the worst case scenario, you blame him for your jealousy, that's an issue on you. And I was never jealous before with other relationships, as my boyfriends before always listened to me. Well, there you go. So you've only had a couple boyfriends before. They've always, stayed, and were highly obedient with you. So now you have one that isn't, that you're highly attracted to, and now you get to feel what your boyfriends felt, basically. This one is different. I do test him sometimes, and he just always passes the test. I can't make him do anything. So right there, this is great that you're writing this story because you can actually see yourself objectively. Please read this story again. I can't make him do anything. So you have this playbook that you're running that past boyfriends would do what you said. You would test them. They would listen to you. And now you got a guy that if you say he's intelligent, handsome, good body, he's got options. He's got other women liking him. He's not going to respond to you trying to tell him what to do, hon. I'm surprised that he's with someone that acts this way, but I'm gonna guess that you're pretty attractive. I'm not sure why, but it's attractive to me. It makes me want him more. A month ago, he got really sick with COVID, was in a bad mood, and I couldn't take care of him because I was away visiting my family. Okay. We got in a fight because I wanted to borrow some money to give to my sister, and he said no. And he also got upset and told me to quit asking for money for my sister, that he wasn't going to give it to her, and that he's tired of me asking for money all the time. Well, here's the thing. First of all, when someone's sick, especially with something like COVID, turn on the sensitivity and compassion knobs and don't push the envelope is what I would say. Because if he was patient before with certain things, he's going to be a lot less patient. And it's really, one of the things I've always appreciated in my life is when I do have a really good girlfriend and she takes care of me if I'm sick. I mean, that's just love points. So if you're doing the opposite, it's just repellent for men. Okay. I told him he doesn't really love me if he can't help my sister, and that I feel like he doesn't even care about me. So this is just you going for the kneecaps. It's extremely immature and cheap arguing. He's just told you no. He has a right to tell you no. This money's not even for you. He then didn't call me for 2 days. Of course he didn't call you for 2 days because he said this guy, if he's intelligent, handsome, and a good body and everyone likes him, he doesn't need to stick around for this crap. I sent him some messages saying I was done and that he never loved me and that we could just be friends. He didn't respond. Then he finally called me 2 days later, using this idea that you're going to extremes because you want to control him. So you're saying, you don't love me, you don't do this, we could just be friends. And he's going, yeah, okay. He didn't respond. Then he finally called me 2 days later and told me he didn't like dealing with this when he was sick, and that he's told me many times that anytime I ask for money, he can and will say no if he doesn't agree with the reason or what it's for. He said to fight with him when he's sick and claim he doesn't care or love me when I said no to money is something he won't accept. Wow, I'd love to have this guy on the show. This is the kind of guy that could be a friend of mine. I like the way he rides. This is strong. He said it's okay, but he doesn't want to do this anymore. And that, yes, we can be friends, but he doesn't want to live with me anymore. I got my stuff. I don't really. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped a line. He told me that he has packed up most of my stuff and that I can come and get the stuff and move out. He knows that I don't really have a place to go and that I don't want to live with my family. That's your problem. You put the gun to his head saying that he doesn't love you, doesn't care about you. You didn't think about the consequences. Good for this guy standing up for himself. I like this guy. I told him I was sorry and that I was emotional during my period. Okay, well, use your period for excuse. He said it's okay. He doesn't want to do this anymore and that, yes, we can be friends, but he doesn't want to live with me anymore. So now this is interesting because a lot of guys are like, don't be friends. I bet he's honestly doesn't care. Like he's not being friends with you because he wants a piece of you back. He just honestly looks at you that way. I got my stuff. He was very cold, just leaving when I got there on his bike. He told me to just leave the keys and also leave the card that's attached to his bank account. I did that. I did it and cried a lot. What'd you cry about? The bank card? Now I've been moved out for 3 weeks and we still talk, and we've even slept together 3 times, which was good. But he said I can't move in and he doesn't want me back as a girlfriend. Wow. A lot of people, oh, what a jerk. No. he said that we could be friends with benefits. That's it. This is a guy that's taking the bull by the horns and saying, this is what I want. You're not going to push me around. I could be friends with benefits, but yeah, I don't want you as a girlfriend. Somebody, oh, this guy's a jerk. Really? Well, I've done a lot of different research on this, and I think I will accept that, and that I'm really good in bed, and so he'll have trouble letting that go. I know that. Listen, hun, you said he's intelligent, handsome, has a good body, and everyone seems to like him. He's going to have other options, if that's true. Okay? He's already proven that he can stand up to you. He's already proven that he's kind of done, but he'd love to have you on the side and put you in the back of the bus. Now, if you think that you're going to overcome that with some kind of special skills in the bedroom, it is possible. It is possible. But I think your personality and your outlook on treating your boyfriend is going to hurt you. And it already has. The guy's fed up, right? Once you move out, you are no longer as attached as you used to be. So and by the way, just judging by the way you're telling me this guy's rolled and moved, he's at a different level than you as far as attraction intelligence. And he's not scared to lose you. But he's more than happy to see you on the side and hook up. So you'll wean him off the relationship. But if he's as great as you say he is, he's going to hook up with some other women. The problem is, I know he's already talking to another woman. Of course he is. I even saw some remnants of another woman's clothes at his house. He told me he doesn't have to answer those questions and that we aren't together anymore. He's right. But like he told me, we can see each other. I don't get it. How can he sleep with me, cuddle with me, and then not care or want me back? So you have this theme where he doesn't care about you. He doesn't love you. Look, you messed this up. Okay? You're asking for money for your sister. He doesn't want to give it to you. You created a bunch of shit while he was sick. You're jealous. Okay? The minute you moved out, that's when it was probably dust. Him hooking up with you right now, that's just him taking advantage of the situation. And if you make a big deal out of it, if he's strong enough, he probably won't let that last. But he's holding all the cards right now. And you think that you're trying to be the puppet master, but he's the puppet master. I don't understand how he can turn his feelings on and off again and just not care. See, this is your problem, is that you think you know what he's thinking. And because he's not doing what you want him to do, you go straight for the kneecaps and say he doesn't care and love you. I would love to interview him and ask his perspective. I think there's a lot more issues about your behavior beyond what you're sharing here. Like when I moved out and he was crying so much, he just took a bike ride. I can't understand that. Well, if he's not going to take you back and he doesn't want to be with you anymore, it's really mature to let you deal with your feelings on your own and not embarrass yourself in front of him. I'll do anything to get him back. Well, good luck with that. I would say book a live coaching session with myself. Let's get a little deeper on your issues, why you're jealous, why you somehow believe that using these current tactics with a high value guy, such as intelligent, handsome, and a good body, that trying to push him around and claim what he doesn't care about you, it's just highly immature. What do I suggest you do? Book a live coaching session with myself. I'm not sure I could ever do no contact or block him, which many videos suggest. I don't think in this particular case, you doing no contact is going to get him back. I think if he's got a lot of options, he's as good with women as you say, he's going to move on, move forward. He's going to move on. You going no contact would be you accepting the breakup. Your idea of being in friends with benefits, being good enough in bed to turn him around, good luck with that. Don't complain about it. Right now, he's fully if he's got attention from other women and he's a high value guy, I don't even know why I keep using that term. He's a guy that can get women. He doesn't need to keep hanging on you. And what you seem to be trying to use is pity, guilt, and he's not biting. It's not the right bait. You pulling back and saying, I accept it, might have a chance. But you need to understand some things about attraction. So I was sick from COVID and told her that I cannot meet her for another 2 days after my COVID was over because I did not feel good. And she told me that I'm faking it and just to not meet her. I did, but she started making silly jokes on me and I told myself, huh? I'm confused here. So I was sick from COVID and told her that I cannot meet her for another 2 days after my COVID was over because I did not feel good. I did, but she started making silly jokes on me and I told myself it would be better to leave her because my health is much more important than explaining if someone doesn't, what's your level of trust if someone thinks you're lying about fucking COVID and you're actually sick? It's highly immature. I mean, what is that all about? What, MJ, what's on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your attraction to this woman? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your chemistry and connection? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your trust? I mean, having to sell someone on the idea that you really have COVID and then making jokes about it is fucking ridiculous. No, you shouldn't have to show her the test. Bo Craig. She said she's attracted to me and likes talking to me, but she rejected my date. Oh my God, I would need to know more of the story, BC. I mean, is this someone you work? Like, here's the thing. You want me to give you like the best advice or the best thing that you can develop in dating is when someone says no to a date, you just go, okay. Don't try to figure it out. Just accept it. Okay. I've had this happen before where I remember I knew a girl from work. I knew she was kind of attracted to me, flirted a few times, whatever. I asked her out to dinner. I said, hey, you want to go out to dinner tonight? She said, no, I already ate. I said, okay, no problem. In the text. No sweat off my balls. It's fine. I don't even feel rejected. It's like 10 minutes later. It's like, hey, can we go get a drink? Okay. Be okay with it. That's attractive. She rejected your date. Just don't go, oh, if you want to go out any other time, I'm available. Just say, okay, no worries. And then don't ask her out on any more dates. She said she's attracted to you and likes talking to you, but she doesn't want to go on a date with you. Then just accept it, move on, and ask someone else out on a date. Have some other options flowing. Is this the only woman that you have available? That's the biggest problem. You're only talking to one. It's weird. She wanted to call me and we talked for hours and then just completely said no. How old are you and how old is she? What are we dealing with here? So if you're with someone that's throwing mixed signals, take control of the situation and just don't play that game anymore. Yeah, it's highly immature, dude. Highly immature. Get out there and date some other women. Don't make a big deal out of it either. Just stop talking to her. We talked for hours and then just completely said no. So there's a lot. People come to me a lot. Why was I ghosted? Why did they stop talking to me? I don't know. I'm not that good. I'm really good with breakups. I'm really good with unpacking your story. I'm really good with helping you with your limited beliefs. Really fucking good at that shit. If you want to book a coaching session. But here's the thing. Like why someone doesn't want to go on a date with you or they're not talking to you, there's a variety of reasons. Don't take it personal, Bo Craig. Water on a duck's back, right? She doesn't want to go out with me? Okay. It's a discovery mission. Now you know she doesn't want to date me. All right, fine. Could be she's highly shy. There's some women out there that are just really shy. They're scared to date. Could be that she's talking to someone else. Could be many things. Why search that answer out when there's, I don't know, billions of women? Why do that? Why get caught up on this one woman? Does she define you? Come on, man. She says no. You say, okay, don't talk to her for hours on the phone anymore longer. Define what it is you want. You want to go on a date with her? You want to see what happens? She doesn't want to go on a date with you? You just go, Okay, leave it at that. I will book a coaching session with you, man, because there is more to explain, and I would really appreciate a point of view from someone like you. Wish all the best of luck with your relations. All good, MJ. I highly recommend it, my friend. Highly recommend it. We'll get into it, bud. So you're saying hire a hitman? No, I didn't say hire a hitman. I don't think that's funny, to be quite honest. I'm telling you that you're taking it as, why is she doing this to me? Why does she not want to date me? Who cares? That's what I'm saying. You asked her out on a date. She said no. Right? What do you think it is? What do you think it is? What? Don't take it on your shoulders and go, oh, there's something wrong with me. I could have said something differently. You get this a lot. Why do you think she's not calling? Why do you think she doesn't want to talk to me? This is what you got to develop. Who cares? Move on. Ask someone else out. Maybe I have to take a different approach and talking to her for 2 hours and having her tell me she likes me, but then doesn't want to go out with me. That just tells me she has trouble with the communication. She's misleading, and she's not mature enough to get to a point where she even wants to go on a date with someone she quote unquote says she likes. Bo, move on, dude. And guess what? That's attractive. That's what's counterintuitive, man. That's actually attractive. If you could go, yeah, okay, and don't call her again for a week, she'll probably call you. And then when she calls you, go, hey, look, I want to go on a date. She goes, no, I want to talk again for 2 hours on the phone first. Go ahead and do that if that's what you want to do. If that's not what you want to do, don't do it. This is just attraction 101, okay? This is you could read this book, that book. I'm just cutting to this stuff, okay? Number 1, someone rejects you or says no, they don't want to go out with you. Here's the response. You ready? Write it down. Get your pen out. Okay. Not, oh, I'm, like, why not? No, it's just, okay. Cut the conversation. We're done, that's fine. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to be Sherlock Holmes. Well, let me figure this out. It's a waste of time, dude. All right, folks, we got 6 on deck. MJ, I look forward to that session being booked. This has been a good one today. Like I said, feeling good, feeling great, feeling grand. And I hope everyone else out there is. If you got a coaching session you want to book, go to writemac.com, WRITEMAC. I will be on regularly at this time this week. Please, 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 please feel free to put in the comments if you have some topics that you want me to touch on. There is an individual that's already said he wants to talk a little bit more about single moms. Interesting topic. Be specific as possible on any question or topics you want me to go over, maybe in a future show. Specificity, if that's a word, is helpful and useful. All right, folks, it's been good. It's been grand. It's been great. It is curtains.